Now my inventory is full, which is okay. Because I can go and just stock this up. And then are we at 700 Celsius? Outstanding. We are at temperature. These are now nice and shiny, which means these heat exchangers can now fire and get this up to proper temperature over time once I take the boilers out. Alright, that's enough wood for wood chests. And then I tear this thing up and shorten this up somewhat. Drop that carbon in because it was already allocated. And place that in the proper heating receptacle. And since I do have carbon going right now, I can use that as a train fuel. And make it so I don't have to worry about fueling up this station in the future. Let's see, 2 trains is 50 stacks, and then that's carbon. So this is going to look a little bit odd. We're going to set output side. And first I want to get an idea of which side's which. So that's the left side. I'm going to set output side when carbon is greater than well, no, it has to be less than 350. And it's the left-hand side. I want it to go on the right, really, so just going to do a little test. So that doesn't reset it just by doing that. Then half my carbon participates in that, and the other half goes to power. And I'll use the entire belt as a budget container, so I don't have to even be like, I need X, Y, or Z king. Like, no, I have the Tupperware to do this job. And then, oh yeah, I gotta stretch my my plates out too into wires. So let's do that. It's now the era where I should be lazy because my machines can do this better than I can. Alright, now I can justifiably go out into a swamp and put down materials once I get this powered up. Because I'll be able to see whether or not I'm actually doing this job. Okay, and this is, strictly speaking, Bioflux. I'm on Gleba. Gleba is different than Nauvis. So I'm more finicky. And that assembly line is just plain wrong. So that should be exiting the build. And since this is non-critical, but I require a massive amount of it. And again, I'm going to use these modules because I want to minimize everything as best I can. And I'm actually going to ask Ryan for... Well, TL Coffee's the one that I should be asking things for. Because it's faster, and this is honestly its job now, is to be the Gleba Express. I can have Ryan running things over to Vulcanus to get that ready. Because, yeah, that's just not going fast enough for my tastes. It needs to go faster. We've overmatched everything else on this assembly line and split it up to do the proper amount of engine units and everything, so the proper amount being excessive, right? And then I gotta think, because this had large orders. Like, this was going to be large orders of space parts, and if that's done, then I have to either sign off that it's done or get it on something else. So I'm going to pump it up. And yeah, this is just made of pain and sadness right now, because... Ooh. Ah. That is going to take a lot of blue ones. There's a reason why I reprogrammed this assembly line to just go like, and put half your stuff into a logistics supply box down this way. Alright. That's Adventures on Nauvis for now. We'll see how things go in a minute. Back to Rocket Fuel Land. There is a pause on Rocket Fuel Land because it has to be like that. In order to be a bit more practical. Missing entities for construction, you say? I'm going to elect to not worry about that at this time. I need to go and check on a spore cloud and play with spoilage. And get rocket fuel up. Plus, if I can get lubricant to go off to, and that's the rocket silos starting here. And I can start moving my base out. Okay, this is not connected to power. How and why? Well, running into it doesn't help, but... that does need to be there. Okay, the fuel's in the train, so the train can do its job. Power's on. This is set up to do its work. So that'll be a happy. So the way that that worked out, there needs to be an extra one here, and it needs to be for Jelly Nut in case I ever expand these farms. And then this is going to go over and be part of the miscellaneous assembly line now. Because this grabbed spoilage and other tree parts. So, this is the opposite of how it usually works with trains for some reason, and me, on this channel. I shouldn't be saying that like it's anything worth referencing, but like, for the record, this is not how this normally works. Alright, and we've got plenty of green slots in here to grab like 6 or 7 trees worth. So just move that over. This lovely biological looking stuff here. Alright. And then same concept. And then I have to solve the problem of seeds. With these trains. Once I make sure they're connected. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, for simplicity's sake, you can do whatever you want to chuck out seeds, right? That was not handy. That was. And then I go out a little bit, and I perform my routing for seeds. And one final little detail here. I want a radar in here. So this is going to send signals and let me manage seeds at a train station. So if I see less than like 30 seeds, I'll send seeds on the train. Otherwise, just don't do it. And then I'll play the same game with the Yumako. Another way I could do it is just read the belt and see if there's anything on there. But yeah, read the contents, put that on my radar for now, because a radar will broadcast that. And then, did I tank out here? I did tank out here. I'll do some refinement and send this train over. Now there was a radar down here that's low power. So let's just go and snag that. I deal with some of those boom plants. Just look at that and say, you do useful things now. Okay, you're halted. Why? Because this guy needs spoilage too. Oh, I did that belt wrong. It needs to go through and join up with its friends. And power needs to be outside, if done at all. And then the spoilage needs to be done here, because that's also a spoilage belt, so. And it would help if I plugged this part in. So let's just go and do that now. Alright, and then this is going to start doing the bioflux and the seeds. And the seeds will cause a mini apocalypse here, so this is just an illustration. Always. figure out a way to get seeds off of an assembly line so that they can be managed elsewhere. So for now, I'm going to put them in a set of boxes over there, because I can't ram a tank into this area easy. Well, no. I have to feed them back into the train line when there's less than 30, which is why I grabbed that radar. Should have grabbed more plates. Oh well. Then the bioflux goes like so. And lubricant we'll figure out later. As the bioflux desperately needs to happen now. Because yeah, otherwise this happens and I get sad because it's my first time. And there's no joy from the rocket fuel line then. So too many schemes going on at once. That's what this is. But in my defense, sometimes my ideas are oddly good. And for now, okay, take it off there so it can't jam anything, and figure out where to dump this mess. I'll start getting the spoilage out of my inventory, which is good. And then I can go back to thinking about brilliant things like odd uses of radar. . Okay, that's interesting. So this needs to be filtered for either fruit, spoilage, wood, rocks. In order for this to fill up. Then it's going to be seeds less than 30. It's not a particularly great idea because it is a global network, so if I ever added towers, I'd have to figure out a different way to police this, including just sending the seeds back into the swamp on a belt very slowly, which might be done